Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 263 based on novel. So let's start. In the 17th layer of the Immortal Graveyard on planet Suzaku. The moment that Tarshan was about to step into the 18th layer, an extremely dignified voice echoed within the 17th layer. The 18th layer can't be entered. This sound was so powerful that Tarshan's body was pushed back dozens of feet. It was as if he had been hit by a powerful impact, and he coughed out a large mouthful of blood. The big-headed boy was also forced back. As for Lei Ji, he felt a buzz and his mind went blank. He only knew that he was being constantly pushed back. Yunkeizi was also the same. He had the lowest cultivation level and was thrown back until he hit a wall. He coughed out a large mouthful of blood and became dispirited. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. The moment the voice appeared, his origin energy activated and was forced back a few dozen feet before he could steady himself. His face was pale as he looked ahead. A ripple echoed in the air and the old cultivator that looked like Huanglong stepped out. The moment he appeared, a crazy high temperature appeared. In an instant, all of the cracks that had appeared were sealed and the path to the 18th layer was closed. The old cultivator had the air of a celestial and gave off a pressure without being angry. One could feel a powerful aura coming from him just by looking at him. However, that aura immediately disappeared and was contained within this old cultivator, which made him feel even more dangerous. After he appeared, he waved his sleeve. Yunkeizi, Tarshan, the big-headed boy, and Lei Ji only felt a powerful gust of wind. They disappeared and were directly sent outside of the Immortal Graveyard. Wang Lin's pupils shrank and hundreds of ideas flashed through his mind. This old cultivator had sent everyone except him away, so there was some profound meaning to his actions. His eyes flashed indiscernibly before he immediately bowed and respectfully said, "A new sect disciple Wang Lin greets sect master." The old cultivator looked at Wang Lin with a smile that was not a smile and asked, "Who is your sect master?" Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he said, "If senior won't admit it, then just take it that junior is mistaken." The old cultivator laughed and said, "You're an interesting little fellow. Why do you think I'm the sect master of the Heng Yu sect?" Wang Lin calmly said, "Junior went to the demon spirit land and saw a painting that contained senior's image." The old cultivator pondered a bit and smiled. "Little fellow, you can't just call anyone sect master. The dignified thunder celestial of the all-heaven star system, Shu Mu. When did I have such a disciple?" Wang Lin's mind trembled, but his expression didn't change. He said, "Junior has mistook you for someone else." The old cultivator revealed a look of admiration as he was very satisfied with Wang Lin's reaction and response. His eyes lit up and he said, "We can talk about whether you're mistaken or not later. Do you know that you almost made a terrible mistake? That 18th layer is not somewhere you can enter, especially not with someone from the chosen immortal clan. If he obtained the source origin, forget planet Suzaku, even the entire Alliance star system would face a catastrophe." Wang Lin's expression was respectful. There was no trace of rebellion on his face, as if he was earnestly being scolded. The old cultivator looked at Wang Lin. After pondering a bit, he said, "Wang Lin, I want to ask you. Do you sincerely think of me as the former Heng Yu sect master and sincerely think of yourself as a Heng Yu sect disciple?" Wang Lin silently pondered. He had a lot of regret toward the Heng Yu sect. After all, the Heng Yu sect was his first sect and his first step into the cultivation world. Wang Lin looked at the old cultivator and calmly said, "The Heng Yu sect was Junior's first sect and planet Suzaku is my home." "Oh?" The old cultivator's eyes lit up and he said, "So what is the deal with being the Thunder Celestial Temple's Thunder Celestial?" His voice was like thunder and seemed angry. "Various things forced me into that situation." Wang Lin stared at the old cultivator with clear eyes. The old cultivator's gaze seemed to be able to penetrate Wang Lin's heart. After a long time, his expression softened and he said, "This old man doesn't care about your identity in the all-heaven star system or how many sects you join. The one thing you need to remember is that although you are a cultivator of the Alliance star system, you are a person from planet Suzaku. You are a disciple of the Vermilion Bird branch of the Four Divine sect. As long as you remember this, I'm always your sect master. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he nodded. This battle with the All-Heaven Star system is the battle of the Cultivation Alliance. It has nothing to do with my Four Divine sect. The old cultivator seemed to have said this very casually. Wang Lin's expression changed and he looked at the old cultivator. The old cultivator no longer talked about this but looked at Wang Lin. After pondering for a bit, he said, Wang Lin, since you have seen the 17th layer, you should have some speculations in your heart. With your current cultivation, you can enter the 18th layer to comprehend what's inside with my help. Whether you will obtain anything will depend on your own luck. As the old man spoke, he didn't ask whether Wang Lin was willing and waved his sleeve. Wang Lin felt a powerful force surround him. Although he was still cautious in his heart, he didn't resist and still had a respectful expression. Taking Wang Lin, the old cultivator took a step and high temperature suddenly appeared around him. Then a circle of what looked like magma appeared under him. Black flames shot into the air and surrounded the old cultivator. A moment later, the old cultivator's figure disappeared. Even Wang Lin disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin only felt a wave of heat, and it even contained a trace of source origin. Wang Lin was aghast by the flame that surrounded him, but he became even more cautious. His eyes blurred. When his vision cleared, he found that he was inside a secret chamber that was around 1,000 feet wide. The surroundings were completely dark aside from a flickering flame at the center. This made this place somewhat gloomy. It was as if there were ghosts hiding in the darkness that circled the flame and wanted to devour it. However, they would be knocked back by the flame every time. This place is the 18th layer. That fire is a fragment of their ancestors' source origin. You can try to comprehend it, and whether you gain anything will depend on your luck. The old man's voice echoed in the room. Wang Lin silently pondered for a moment and then his eyes fell on the flame. The moment his eyes fell on the flame, his mind trembled. It was as if a mysterious force had come from the flame and rushed into Wang Lin's mind. The flame contained a desire for life and understanding and enlightenment of power. There was also a trace of the scent of blood. At this moment, the flame flickered violently. Wang Lin felt a thud and then a large amount of information rushed into his mind. There was too much information, and it was extremely messy, as if it was endless. The information bombarded Wang Lin as if it wanted to make his head explode. In an instant, something happened to Wang Lin's eyes. A sun appeared in his left eye and a moon appeared in his right eye. His karma domain quickly filled his body. The yin and yang fishes appeared in his mind. As they rotated, all of the distracting thoughts were removed from his mind. Finally, a scene that shook Wang Lin's mind appeared. At this moment, the old cultivator's figure appeared next to Wang Lin. He carefully looked at Wang Lin, revealing a look of admiration, and he muttered, "Not bad. This little fellow was about to gain insight from this level of source origin. After some observation, I can let this little fellow enter the Vermilion Bird series." At this moment, Wang Lin was immersed in a starry sky. What he saw were countless celestials using various kinds of magical treasures. Before them were yellow talisman tens, hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of feet long. Every yellow talisman had various strange people standing on them. They weren't dressed too differently from cultivators, but they had the chosen immortal clan plants tattooed on them. The difference was the amount of leaves on the tattoos. Each of them had a tattoo flashing between their eyebrows. This was a war. As both sides battled, there were flashes of tattoos. As for those with tattoos, their spells were strange and unpredictable. They were tattoo-oriented and could often seal the heavens and earth, causing the world's origin energy to tremble. Not long after, an old man on one of the yellow talismans that was tens of thousands of feet long charged out. The old man had many leaves on his tattoo, along with a golden leaf. He opened his arms and the tattoos around him charged out. At this moment, space itself trembled and the celestials all exclaimed. They were surrounded by countless tattoos and suddenly lost their celestial origins. Just at this critical moment, a flash of black light came from the distance. A figure appeared, but it was surrounded by a black light, making it impossible to see his appearance. The person arrived and began battling the old man. In an instant, the person surrounded by the black light grabbed hold of the area between the old man's eyebrows. He mercilessly pulled out a mass of flame filled with vitality. The moment the flame was pulled out, it immediately collapsed into countless specks of fire. One of them charged straight at Wang Lin and instantly imprinted between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Wang Lin's forehead burned and his body trembled. It was as if a powerful impact was forcing his body to retreat. This force was too strong, as if it could penetrate time itself. He felt a thud as he opened his eyes and awakened. The moment he awakened, he immediately looked at the flame. The more he looked, the more similar it looked to the flame between the eyebrows of the old man covered in tattoos. The scene from before was like a dream, but the heat coming from between his eyebrows reminded him that everything before was very real. Wang Lin subconsciously touched between his eyebrows, but there was nothing there. At this moment, a large stone was rapidly flying through the starry sky, charging toward the western part of the Alliance star system. On the stone stood a person in red, and his eyes were ruthless and cold. He stared into the distant stars and muttered, "All heaven thunder celestial Shumu. I hope you're not too weak, very good." The old cultivator's voice echoed inside the chamber. Ripples appeared and the old cultivator walked out. He carefully looked at Wang Lin, especially between Wang Lin's eyebrows, and calmly asked, "You saw it?" Wang Lin got up, clasped his hands, and said, "I saw some scenes." The old cultivator faintly smiled while he raised his right hand and reached toward the flame. The flame flashed and then was caught in the old cultivator's hand. This thing was formed by the essence source origin of an peak Golden Leaf Fu clan member. Comprehending this source origin would benefit your cultivation greatly. This is also a test that one must face to become an inner disciple of the Vermilion Bird branch of the Four Divine Sect. If you can gain comprehension, you can become an inner disciple. With that, the old cultivator seemed to gain a trace of that flame's power and his face turned slightly red. After a long time, he returned to normal and waved his sleeves. Wang Lin disappeared on the spot. "Do what you ought to do. With this old man here, no one can touch planet Suzaku." After sending Wang Lin away, the old cultivator's eyes revealed a strange light and he muttered, "Fu clan, this old man will definitely open the last layer." Wang Lin's body appeared on the top of a mountain on planet Suzaku, and his face was pale. He looked toward the direction of the Forsaken Immortal clan and began to ponder. That old cultivator's cultivation level is very high. I fear he is an old monster on level with Master Flame Spark, or even stronger. What kind of purpose does this person have for staying at planet Suzaku for a long period of time? First of all, I can confirm that opening the last two layers of the Forsaken Immortal clan are one of his goals. I just don't know if he is aware of the land of the ancient god. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and then he quickly left. That person's identity is strange, but he is someone from the Vermilion Bird branch of the Four Divine Sect. However, his words had some deeper meaning to them. Forget it, there are too few clues to speculate. It is time to leave. Wang Lin made up his mind. He spread out his divine sense and found Ta Shan and company. After sending out a message, Wang Lin looked at the earth below him. He knew that he had dealt with the matters at planet Suzaku and that he couldn't stay here for long. After all, Tuo Sen was still here. While he pondered, he let out a sigh. Then his body flickered and he quickly charged into the sky. At the same time, Ta Shan, the big-headed boy, and Lei Ji quickly flew out from different parts of planet Suzaku. Ju Wutai stood on a peak as he looked up at the horizon. His expression was a somber, and after a long time, he left. Similarly, at the border of the Sea of Devils and the country of Hu Fen, Li Chiqing looked up at the sky. After a long time, he muttered, "Little sister. Following him is your choice. Your brother blesses you?" In the Cloud Sky sect, Tai Yang awakened as if he had noticed something and looked up. He knew that after Wang Lin leaves this time, it would likely be a very long time before he returns. Wang Lin's figure appeared in the space outside planet Suzaku, and a moment later, Ta Shan and company appeared. Ta Shan took a step and merged with Wang Lin's shadow. As for the big-headed boy, He had recovered a bit and respectfully stood there. Lei Ji's eyes turned, and without waiting for Wang Lin's order, popping sounds came from his body. In an instant, he grew into a giant thousands of feet tall, and a powerful pressure shrouded the area. The reason many powerful cultivators liked to use the giant demon clan members as mounts was because of their powerful bodies and pressure. They were comparable to almost all demonic beasts. In addition, the giant demon clan's bloodline ability made the powerful cultivators extremely fond of them. Lei Ji's body trembled and he knelt down. A thunderous voice came from his mouth. "Master, Lei Ji is completely willing to become your mount." Looking at the giant body, Wang Lin entered a trance for a moment. Riding the giant demon clan as a mount was indeed very eye-catching. No matter who saw this, they would be shaken. Wang Lin revealed a smile. With one step, he landed on Lei Ji's back, and the big-headed boy quickly followed. He was not tall, and although his head was big and ferocious, when he stood behind Wang Lin, it was obvious he was a servant. Lei Ji's body was huge and his back was thousands of feet wide. His skin was blue and the surface of his back was flat. After Wang Lin sat down, Lei Ji let out a roar and rushed forward. His speed was very fast, although it couldn't compare to the Thunder Beast, it wasn't much slower. Lei Ji's huge body quickly traveled through space and created a storm that spread far and wide in every direction. The big-headed boy looked at all of this and revealed a strange expression. He truly felt the difference between the Alliance star system and All Heaven star system. There were no giants thousands of feet tall in All Heaven, much less people using them as mounts. He felt disbelief just thinking about it, but at the same time it gave him an inexplicable feeling. If he saw someone with such a mount, killing intent would appear in his heart and he would want to kill the other party and take said mount. A cultivator that dares to sit on such a cultivator is no ordinary person. The big-headed boy let out a sigh as he silently looked at Wang Lin. His pupils suddenly shrank. A person suddenly appeared in the distance. He was standing on top of a huge stone. The surface of the stone was covered in holes, it looked like a beehive. This person was wearing red and looked like a ray of red light. He had his hands behind his back and he quickly flew toward Lei Ji. That stone was too fast. As it closed in, it created a huge roar similar to a sonic boom. It set off a monstrous wave in the starry sky. The red-robed man didn't look very old, only about 30 years old. There were 7 swords flying around him, giving off a powerful killing aura. This killing aura was filled with the scent of blood that spread out and formed a vortex. It seemed to form into a huge python-like beast that opened its jaws and roared at Lei Ji. As it roared, a cold and ruthless voice came. "Cultivation Alliance's slaughter domain, kill you Fei, here to take your head." The moment this voice echoed, the stone under him increased in speed. It was so fast that red flames appeared on the stone due to friction and shot straight toward Lei Ji. Lei Ji's expression became panicked and he was about to dodge. At this moment, the big-headed boy looked at Wang Lin, clenched his teeth, and stepped out. His hand formed a seal and celestial origin energy surged. The celestial origin energy formed a storm outside his body and soon, a celestial spell appeared. The big-headed boy shouted and pushed his hands forward. The celestial origin energy turned into threads and rapidly approached the large stone like a fine net. However, at this instant, the red-robed man's eyes flashed red. One of the 7 blood swords immediately shot out like lightning toward the big-headed boy. While it was on the way, a large amount of red mist came from the blood sword. With a bang, it turned into a person. This person looked exactly the same as the red-robed man. It was obvious it was an avatar. After the avatar appeared, his hand swiped out and 7 rays of bloodlight shot out. His gaze was cold as he charged toward the big-headed boy, and they began to battle. The two quickly used spells, causing explosions to echo among the stars. They weren't able to decide a winner or loser in a short period of time. That avatar is at the early stage of Nirvana Scrya. The original body is at the mid-stage of Nirvana Scrya. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as the stone closed in. Lei Ji let out a roar and continued to roar. The shadow behind Wang Lin flickered as Ta Shan stepped out and threw a punch. The moment Ta Shan appeared, the red-robed man's expression didn't change at all. The second flying sword exploded into an avatar with 7 rays of bloodlight around it and charged straight at Ta Shan. Wang Lin's expression was calm. While still on Lei Ji's back, he suddenly raised his right hand. Countless lightning bolts suddenly filled the area and gathered. The surrounding area quickly turned into a thunder hell. The red-robed man's eyes narrowed and the stone under him suddenly stopped 1,000 feet from Wang Lin. He revealed a cold smile and slowly said, "You are indeed worth of being all heathens Thunder Celestial. You are really worthy of the title Thunder Celestial." With that, he waved his right hand and the remaining 5 blood swords shot out in 5 directions with him as the center. Then the 5 blood swords exploded into clouds of blood mist and turned into 5 more avatars. Each of the avatars had 7 blood red lights around them, and inside each blood red light was a blood red flying sword. In an instant, the 5 avatars and the 35 red flying swords formed a formation around this person. Each avatar was 500 feet from the main body. The surrounding lightning bolts closed in, but strangely they all flew toward the blood swords. No thunder could enter that 500 feet area. Thunderous rumbles continued to echo. The red-robed man sneered as he looked at Wang Lin. All the thunder was blocked by his 5 avatars and 35 flying swords. "Are you only this strong?" The red-robed man shook his head and his eyes were filled with disappointment. "If this is all your spell can do, then you can't escape from me." A flash of coldness appeared in Wang Lin's eyes and a vortex appeared between his eyebrows. In an instant, his ancient thunder dragon origin soul rushed out and let out a roar at the sky. Roar? He exercised his control over thunder. Under the thunderous rumbles, the world suddenly changed and countless lightning bolts appeared from the void and gathered toward Wang Lin. This scene was earth-shattering, and as the sound of thunder spread, it caused more thunder to appear. It was like divine retribution. The red-robed man named Yu Fei took one look and began to laugh. However, this laughter was filled with endless chill. "Good, now you have some aura of a Thunder Celestial of the All-Heaven star system. It wasn't a waste of time for me to come personally take your head. If you die, you can smile while you're in the underworld. Everyone that was killed by me was famous." Arrogant. Wang Lin's expression was cold. He pointed with his finger and made the thunder in the area become several times stronger. Thunder from tens of thousands of kilometers away began to gather. If one were to look from above, they would see that the area within tens of thousands of kilometers had turned into a thunder lake. And the thunder lake shrank amidst the endless rumbles. The center of all of this was the red-robed man. The speed of contraction was too fast, and as it contracted, it attracted even more thunder. The might of the thunder was like the end of the world. The rapid contraction caused large amounts of spatial cracks to appear. Whenever the thunder passed by, large amounts of cold wind would escape from those cracks. This scene was very shocking. As the thunder roared, the contraction became even faster. It was as like a huge circle that was tens of thousands of kilometers wide and was rapidly shrinking with the red-robed man as the center. As the thunder contracted, the thunder became even more intense. As it continued to compress, it eventually became unimaginably powerful. This power was like compressing all the thunder within tens of thousands of kilometers into one point. The power this thunder had was comparable to divine retribution. At this moment, it contracted like crazy, and it made so much noise that it was like no other sound existed. Even Ta Shan and the big-headed boy, who were battling, immediately retreated and revealed serious expressions. In almost an instant, as all the thunder from tens of thousands of kilometers away gathered, waves of thunder crashed into the red-robed man's 35 flying swords and 5 avatars. This created a heaven-shaking bang. It was as if space itself was trembling. All the thunder within tens of thousands of kilometers compressed and finally bombarded the flying swords. One of the blood swords immediately trembled and collapsed. The sword shattered into countless pieces which were then pushed back by the thunder. This didn't end here. The remaining flying swords all collapsed under the bombardment of this earth-shattering thunder. In just an instant, the 35 flying swords all collapsed. The surrounding thunder didn't pause, it charged toward the red-robed man with monstrous momentum. 500 feet only took an instant to cross. Just as the thunder condensed, the 5 avatars turned into 5 large swords and forced a blockade 100 feet around the Yu-Fei. The thunder quickly smashed into them, causing them to tremble, and cracking sounds came from the swords. Yu-Fei's expression was still neutral. He coldly looked at Wang Lin and said, "I indeed underestimated the power of your thunder, but before me it is not enough." As he spoke, he slapped his bag of holding and something appeared in his hand. This object was a branch. It looked very normal, but it gave off an ancient aura. "One of my slaughter domain's treasures, the branch of the Thunder World Tree. The domain master said that this could suppress your thunder. Let me show you how I'll break your thunder." With that, he threw the branch forward. At the same time, the 5 swords blocking the thunder quickly retreated. The moment the 5 blood swords retreated, there was nothing blocking the thunder, so it immediately charged toward the red-robed man. However, at this moment, Wang Lin seemed to lose control of the thunder, and it all charged toward the branch. As the thunder rumbled, the branch absorbed all of it, and bursts of thunder could be seen around the branch. Yu-Fei stood beside the branch with a sneer. The thunder seemed to be turning a blind eye to him, it didn't injure him at all, and it all rushed into the branch. Even Wang Lin became gloomy at this. "With your early-stage Nirvana Scrya cultivation, unless there is a miracle, you are nothing before me. It is time to end everything." Yu-Fei's eyes revealed killing intent as he charged through the thunder. The 5 flying swords charged with him and closed in on Wang Lin. Wang Lin retreated as he stared Yu-Fei, who was closing in, and calmly said, "I'll give you a miracle." With that, ripples appeared under his feet and he suddenly disappeared. Yu-Fei was startled and his pupils shrank. His origin energy surged out, creating a storm around him, but he still didn't find a trace of Wang Lin. There was a cultivation planet in the Alliance star system that was far away from planet Suzaku. The spiritual energy from this cultivation planet was dense, and it was a rank 6 cultivation country. There were 5 rank 5 cultivation countries on this planet. In one of the rank 5 cultivation countries, one named Fallen Moon, there was a woman standing outside the alchemy room in a back mountain. This woman was wearing a pink butterfly dress. She didn't look very old and was very beautiful. There were specks of metal chips above her right eyebrow that made her look very cute. Her jade-like skin and cloud-like hair made her very attractive. "Senior Brother Wang, you here? I'm Song Ying." This woman's face was red and her voice sounded like a songbird. She was very beautiful and she looked into the room as she spoke. A person was sitting in the alchemy room. He had a head of red hair and his expression was very cold. He looked around 30 years old, and the cold aura he gave off made it feel as if it would feel like winter wherever he went. When the voice of the woman came in from outside, the man frowned and coldly said, "I'm not here." After that, he closed his eyes and focused on cultivating. After the woman heard this cold voice, she immediately became happy. She took a few steps and walked directly into the alchemy room. She smiled and said, "Brother Wang Lin, I won't disturb you for too long. I'll just sit here for a while and then leave." As she spoke, she arrived outside the room but didn't go inside. She sat down outside. She could feel the cold aura coming from the room. This aura entered her body and made her face turn red, but she felt very comfortable. Her cultivation was related to cold energy and had been stagnant. There weren't many places in the sect with cold energy, and she couldn't enter those places with her status. One time, she came here to pick up pills and accidentally found that the cold energy in her body had increased a lot. This discovery made her very excited and she continued to come here. Eventually, she discovered there was an outer sect disciple named Wang Lin here. This person was a worker at the alchemy room, but she felt it was very strange. Even though he was a worker, she had never seen him do any work. She even saw the uncle master at the alchemy room be extremely respectful toward Wang Lin. She had a feeling that Wang Lin had a lot of secrets, that he was very mysterious. With this in mind, she had the urge to uncover all those secrets for some reason. In addition, this place helped her cultivation a lot, so she came here almost every day. As for Wang Lin's coldness, not only was she not afraid, it made her want to uncover his secrets even more. She was almost always thinking of Wang Lin's cold figure. Song Ying's face turned red as she cultivated, but his time her heartbeat accelerated and she couldn't immerse herself in cultivation. Touching the item in her clothes, she hesitated as she bit her lips and softly said toward the room, "Senior Brother Wang, I?" However, before she finished speaking, the door suddenly opened and Wang Lin walked out. The moment he walked out, a large amount of cold energy spread out. This cold aura wasn't real, it was just leftover spiritual energy from when an ancient god absorbed spiritual energy. It seemed insignificant to Wang Lin, but for others, this spiritual energy was very dense. Fortunately, this was an alchemy room that already had dense spiritual energy, so it was not obvious. The appearance of Wang Lin's original body caused Song Ying to swallow her words. Just as she summoned up the courage to continue, she saw the senior brother Wang that she admired so much take a step, shoot into the sky, and disappear. Song Ying's expression was bleak as she took out an embroidered pouch. It was filled with some spirit herbs that she had personally picked and then sewn into the pouch. This item had the effect of allowing one to calm down. With one step, Wang Lin's original body left the cultivation planet and rushed into space. Just as the original body entered space, ripples appeared and Wang Lin walked out. The avatar and original body walked toward each other until they collided. Then there was a flash of green light and the two became one. After hundreds of years of separation, Wang Lin's avatar and his original body fused once more. A powerful aura came from Wang Lin's body like crazy and filled the stars. The fusion of his original body and his avatar, the fusion of the ancient god and a chi cultivator, caused popping sounds to echo from Wang Lin's body. Countless bolts of thunder roamed around his body. Wang Lin's left eye contained the sun and his right eye contained the moon. His hair was no longer red after fusing with his avatar's black hair, it was now purple. It moved without any wind, and the ancient god stars were hidden by the third eye. No one was able to see any sign of them. "I'll give you a miracle." Wang Lin's cold voice echoed and turned into endless rumbles that echoed among the stars. With a step, he disappeared. This video will end here.